A blackout bucket is a great way to get people to start to think about prepping. Each bucket is unique to you or your family and your needs. In this video, we will discuss all the different things you can add to a bucket that you might need, depending on where you are, what time of year, and what type of storms you might have, or what conditions might knock out your power. We will talk about lighting, food, hygiene, and extra things to help personalize your blackout bucket. So come on, as I explain, and it's a good stepping stone to talk to people about prepping. One of the most important things is lighting, because if you have a blackout, it may be dark and you're going to need to see around the house. We have many candles that you can get cheaply at yard sales, or if you look on clearance in different stores. Candles are very good to leave around the house, but not to necessarily carry around the house, especially if you have little kids around the house. Along with the candles, it is very important to have something to light them with. Lighter, matches, or an even better lighter like the blue one we have on the right. I love the blue one for a number of reasons. This lighter is one of my favorites because aside from it being refillable with butane, if you are making a fire outside, it's like having a mini blowtorch. The wind will not blow this out, nor will it direct the flame other than where you want it. In addition to candles, flashlights are very useful. I try to have one flashlight for every person in the house, minimum. I don't put the batteries in the flashlights because they may corrode over time if they just sit for a while, and then the flashlights won't work when you need them. Instead, I keep the batteries separate, but change them out every couple of years just in case. This light switch is kind of like a flashlight. It lights up when you turn it on, and I like to use these in my bathroom. That way, you can turn on a light switch, it lights up most of the room, it works well so you can go to the bathroom, wash your hands, turn it off, and leave. These are very good, especially if you have smaller children. They attach magnetically or with Velcro. I use the Velcro, and I put them in a cabinet right above the toilet so it lights up most of the room. In the blackout bucket, I have some food. Everything in here is able to be eaten without needing to be heated. Of course, most of it will taste better if heated, but not all of it. You'll notice that I have the fruit cocktail, which you can drink the juice in that while you're eating the fruit cocktail. There's no guarantee that water will be available, especially if you are like me and have a water pump that needs to be powered with electricity. Yes, we have water on hand, but the less we have to use for cooking, the more we have available for hygiene and other things. It's also good, especially if there are kids, to have some good fun things for the kids to eat. I got banana chips, some candy, and some granola bars. The candy, make it something that's not going to melt or go bad quickly. When hygiene problems occur, when you have a blackout, your blackout bucket should have any of the following. Hand sanitizer, which would be used instead of soap and water for most cases. Some kind of wipes, whether they're baby wipes or dude wipes that you can use to clean up messes or yourself if needed. And there's also trash bags. Trash bags are good because you can line your 5-gallon bucket with them. If you line up your bucket and then go to the bathroom, you can wrap it up and throw it in another bag and just collect those and throw them away with your trash. You can say, hey, everyone in the house, in about 10 to 15 minutes, we're all going to go to the bathroom, do what you can, and then you have the whole household's leavings in one bag, and then you can switch them out. There are plenty of extra things you can add if you have room. For example, I have different books of puzzles and some cards here. I have a water filter, and that depends entirely on your water situation. If that would fit your needs or the needs of the person you're making the bucket for, by all means put one in. And a weather radio that is battery, solar, and hand crank operated so that you can get power using any of those methods.
Hi, I'm Kevin the Prepper Chef. Thank you for watching the video on the Blackout Bucket. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how to talk to people about prepping. There are many different ways to go about doing it. Some people don't want to come right out and say, hey, I'm a prepper. Some people don't want to let themselves tell other people how much stuff they have for fear that people will just say, hey, I'm going to come to your house when things get bad. Because then your resources are more limited and you will have less for you and your family. So having said that, you can give someone a blackout bucket as a gift. And if they have small kids especially, that would be something that the kids would get into, because if you put games in there and a flashlight for each individual person, then the kids will have fun with that or think it's pretty neat, and they will enjoy it when the lights go out. However, if you are unable to afford a bucket for different members of your family or friends, you can just show them what you have sometime when they are over for a visit. You can explain to them, hey, when the lights go out, we have everything we need right here in this bucket. You can show them the bucket, show them what's inside of it, not a big deal. Then, hopefully they will think, that's a good idea, we should do that too. And then you can slowly help them build their blackout bucket. When they have theirs, you can then come up with other ways to have them enhance their bucket. The best way to do it, in all honesty, is if you have an opportunity after they use their bucket to say, what worked well, what were you missing, what could we do to make it better? Depending on how many people they have in the family, you may have to make it a blackout tote. A blackout tote would fit a lot more stuff in it, but it's not as convenient as a bucket per se. So once you give them their bucket, I would highly recommend that on a day when it is stormy, on a day when maybe they will lose power, text them or call them and say, hey, remember that bucket I gave you a couple of years ago? Remember that bucket we gave you for Christmas? You might want to have that ready just in case the power goes out. And then hopefully they will be able to use it. They will see the wisdom in having stuff ready in one spot that they can use. And then, like I said before, you have your opportunity to follow up and make a discussion about what they would do. And then once they decide, hey, that was a good idea, then you can take it to the next step. You can ask them, okay, this was only an overnight blackout. What would you do if it was for 3 days? What would you do if it was for a week? What would you do if it was for a month? And depending on where you live, that is kind of a possibility. If you live somewhere that has hurricanes or possibly earthquakes or flooding, then there is a real possibility you may go a week or two without power. So having them think about that gets them in a prepping mindset. And from there, you can slowly turn them into people who are more prepared. They may not be full-blown preppers, they may not go bushcrafting, that's fine. But if you get them thinking about what could happen and use that in a dialogue to help them come up with their own information, help them to come up with what they need, and perhaps help them learn how to stockpile and be ready for when times get worse. I'm Kevin the Prepper Chef. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.
Remember to add things in the comments that you would add to your bucket or that you would recommend for somebody else.